Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. I am just going to give you a real quick update, a little channel update, if you will. A lot of you have sent me PMs wondering what the heck this real life stuff is all about. Some of you actually dug it. Some of you remember it from the olden days. But some of you were just a little confused, especially about the quality and the fact that I looked so much slimmer, which is about 70 pounds slimmer, actually. So I just wanted to clear some things up and let you know where I'm going with this. For those of you who do not know, okay, I've been around since the beginning of time on YouTube. I've had several different channels. My first channel was RL Hunter 1, and then I had various channels after that. Anyway, I had a channel where I posted a series of videos called Real Life, and it just became kind of its own little thing, its own little, I don't even know what to call it, other than it really presented some opportunities for me. You'll get to hear about some of that in my series. But anyway, long story short, I had those parked over at that other channel. I never got to make a dime on any of them. At least I don't think I did. I don't remember, but I don't think I did. And, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, I've got a monetized channel with Colonel Richard Hunter, and I thought to myself, you know what, I need to bring those over. I need to redigitize them and produce those in HD because, you know, when I did those videos, I think, God, I want to say 95 or 98% of those videos were done with an old Sony Handycam that was not in HD. At the time that I bought that camera, it was the top-of-the-line camera. It was an $800 Sony camera. I think one of the most expensive ones you could get at Best Buy. And but, you know, a couple years down the road, HD came out and, you know, everybody moved to the flip cam. But, you know, for the most part, the quality is what it is. It was top of the line for the time, but it kind of sucks now. So I've always wanted to kind of see if I can't clean them up a little bit and get them to work in HD, which I think I've managed to do. Don't get me wrong, there's only so much you could do with that quality with my equipment and my skill level. But anyway, so I'm bringing them over to the Colonel channel, putting a little ad on them, trying to make a couple bucks on them. You know, hey, I'm a capitalist, unapologetic capitalist, which is how I roll. If you don't like it, tough shit. Anyway, so you know what? I want to segue into something real quick. I don't know, I didn't really want to make this long, but you know how I roll. Anyway, listen, real quick, I'm just going to move these over. There's 30-some episodes of the Real Life series. I'll probably take a break after I load the 10th one up, and then I will maybe make some other political videos, and then I'll go back and load up another 10 and do that. Once they're up, they'll be up. It won't take long, and some of you are really enjoying the story. Some of you are enjoying it for a second time, a few years down the road. And so yeah, and then once I get these over, I promise I'll actually add some newer ones to it, update everybody on what happened with the television show, because I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say about dealing with production companies and whatnot. And just different things, just different things that could probably help some people if they listen to it. All right, listen, I want to segue to the unapologetic capitalist thing real quick. I'm not going to make this a long video. Krista Blade, young Krista Blade, my niece. Everybody knows, you should know by now that my niece is Krista Blade. She made a video where she was actually peddling her 8x10 photos because there's a demand for them. I know some people don't understand that, but truthfully, the girl does okay selling those damn pictures of herself. You know, it is what it is. I get mine for free. But you know, that's capitalism. You know, you find a need, you fill it, you get a product, you sell it, and you make some money, and, you know, it's capitalism. But when she started out her video, she named it Capitalism versus Communism 101. The reason she did that was because previously when she sold posters, she took some grief from people who said, you know, you shouldn't be using YouTube to make money, blah, 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 blah. The typical YouTube communist set, or internet communist, whatever you want to call them. You know, I don't know. I guess they're okay with Google making money, just not anybody else. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're communist / corporatists. I have no idea. But she was kind of pissy about that. And she sold like 127 posters at 30 bucks a pop, which, you know, for her first effort at selling posters, I thought was pretty respectable. I don't know what her profit margin was on those, but I think she did okay. So anyway, so she was sick of taking grief from these commies who basically gave her shit about trying to turn a profit. which, you know, because they're not about that. They're I don't know what the fuck they're about. They're about communism. So anyway, so she just kind of said, I'm an unapologetic capitalist. If you're a communist, don't let the screen door hit you on the ass. So basically what she says, look, if you're a communist, get the fuck off my channel. I don't want you here. You got no business being here. You get the fuck out. Well, for some strange reason, these communists around the globe thought that was her way of saying, let's debate capitalism versus communism. Fucking inbreds. No, that wasn't what she was saying. She wasn't looking for a debate. She was basically stating her position and told you as a communist to get the fuck out. That's exactly what it was all about. So, but anyway, the funny thing is, and this is why I bring this up, she calls me up and she says, you're not going to believe this, but apparently some pro-communist websites picked up her video and decided that they were going to make this young teenage girl's channel, or that video in particular, ground zero for the debate, which she wasn't having any of it. You know? She was just there trying to sell some freaking photos of herself, you know, trying to put a little money in her pocket, you know, put some gas in her tank. So these clowns showed up and she said to me, she goes, what do I do? She goes, they're coming over, they're talking all kinds of shit, they're calling me all kinds of names, they're all pro-communist, they're, you know, blah, blah. She goes, I can't even wrap my mind around how many of these communists are actually out there. And I said to her, I said, well, I said, first of all, you're going to have to nip this in the bud. I go, that channel is your house. That channel is your living room. And nobody has a right to come into your house, stand in the middle of your living room, call you a whore, and whatever else they want to call you, and just basically abuse you. You wouldn't put up with that in your own house. You would tell them to get the hell out. There's no First Amendment right in your house, you know. And I said, so you're going to have to shut everything. You're going to basically make comments approval only, and rating, turn off ratings. And so she did that, and oh boy, did they get pissed. These communists. It's so funny because, you know, I don't know of a country outside of the United States that literally has a Bill of Rights with a First Amendment guaranteeing them the right to free speech. I know England doesn't have it. I know too many people over there. You know, I mean, literally, it's hilarious because all these people outside of the United States believe that they have this mythical First Amendment right that does not exist in their country. And there is no, you know, I mean, literally. So, and the funny thing is, so she would hold these comments for approval only, and these people would say some vile shit. Now, remember, she's a teenage girl. Okay, I'm not saying she's not tough, but she's still a teenage girl, and they would come over and say some of the most vile things because she's a capitalist, literally. And then when they found out after writing their paragraph to her about what a, you know, what a piece of shit bitch and whore, slut, age-rid, whatever the hell they were calling her, once they found out that that was approval only, which was only after spending the 10 minutes it took them to write this, maybe even 20 minutes or half an hour, some of these people really put the work into it, then they find out this approval only, then they got really pissed because they knew there was no way in hell she was going to approve it. So now they just pissed that time away. So now they go and write another paragraph calling her a fascist bitch for denying them their First Amendment rights. And these are people from like France and Portugal and Germany and, you know, all through Europe, because apparently none of them learned from the Cold War. None of them learned from staring down the Iron Curtain. You know, apparently they wanted to be on the other side. Of course, most of these people that are spewing this nonsense are not even old enough to remember the Iron Curtain or even old enough to know the misery and death that comes with communism every time. So it's really kind of interesting because here they are berating her about their First Amendment rights, which they clearly know nothing about, because she was never denying them the First Amendment right to say anything. They could open up their own YouTube channel, they could get a video camera, and they could spew whatever they wanted to. She's not denying them the right to do that. They have the right to speech. What they don't have is the right to come into her house and start spewing a bunch of nonsense. You know? That's what they don't have a right to do. So it's just funny because these pseudo-intellectuals, and, you know, and understand this, most communists that I've ever met are exactly that, pseudo-intellectuals. Okay, they read a whole lot of books. They've read everything by Karl Marx and Frederick Engels, and they truly think that they know everything there is to know about everything. And these people spew this nonsense, psychobabble. And it's just ridiculous because everything that they say is just regurgitated nonsense that I've heard my entire life. Just, here's it. Let me give you an example. Here's one of my favorites by these communists. Real, true communism has never actually been attempted. So don't bring up this Soviet and North Korea and Cuba nonsense, because those were not true communist countries. See, now they try to sell that bill of goods to people, because there are a lot of stupid people out there that will say, well, okay. No, the truth of the matter is that you can call the Soviet Union Stalinism, you can call fucking Cuba Castroism, you can call North Korea, I don't know, illism or Kimism, whatever the hell, okay? You can do all day long. The fact of the matter is that what you see in those countries or those systems, Soviet Union is no longer with us, is what eventually becomes the bastardization of what Marx and Engels were spewing. Marx and Engels were spewing some utopian fantasy that is not capable. We're not capable as human beings to actually implement their theories. We're not. Human nature doesn't allow for it. It's just the way it is. I know people don't want to understand that or don't want to believe that, but that is just the facts. It's really not even debatable. It's ridiculous to even debate it. And I always hate when people say, well, the debate's over. But the truth of the matter is that once you've seen time and time again what happens when people or countries or a group of people go down that road of communism, once you see how it twists and turns and becomes a vehicle for misery and death, okay, at some point, if you beat your head against the wall enough times, you have to at some point say, okay, this sucks. This ain't working. This leads to pain and misery, because, and what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result? The fact of the matter is that every single time we try, or human beings try to implement some kind of a communist society, it all degrades down into gulags and torture chambers and misery, untold misery. Anyway, listen, that's all I got for you. Like I said, this was really just going to be a quick update. Like I said, I'm gonna probably put 10 real lives up, maybe 12, I don't know. And then I'll take a break, and then I'll come back and I'll put some more up, and I'll make some other videos in between. So anyway, everybody, take care. Let me know in the comment section. What do you think? My attitude is fuck the communists. Fuck the commies. See ya.